Hello guys, today I want to show how I dial in my espresso shots using the variable pressure setting function in my espresso machine, the WPM KD-310. So in the last video, I've talked about the variable pressure function in my machine, which is basically just varying the flow rate instead of the constant pressure. So you vary the flow rate directly, but the pressure, you can't really adjust it at a constant pressure. But in the end, I think it is still a useful function because it gives you a lot of room to adjust the flow rate and pressure. So today I'm going to show you how I do that and dial in my shots. So now you can see I'm preparing my first shot. I'm putting 19 grams of coffee. I've changed to a VST basket and a bottomless portafilter. And I can show you the difference in later videos on comparing with the stock basket. So you can see maybe we can see how it tastes differently. So this is the first shot, and I'm going to reduce the pressure later, as you can see. Now I'm clicking the panel and I'm using 04 CB04, so I'm reducing it by 3 steps. 07 is the maximum. So now you can see the first shot. So if you can remember from the last video, it's gonna make a bump 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 sound because it reduces the pump frequency of the pump and the flow rate is gonna decrease. So here you can pay attention to the pressure gauge, and I've already dialed in previously, so now it's at a good pressure setting. It's at 8 to 9 bars, right touching the red region, the pointer. Now it's dropping a little bit, so you can see just now I've pressed a plus button and increased it to 0.5. Because in this machine, the pressure, it can't be kept at constant, and at the end of the shot, you will get a decreased pressure usually. So when you see the pointer is decreasing very much, like for 2 bars, you want to increase the pressure a little bit. So that's what I usually do. And in the end, like towards the end of the shot, I've pressed 1 or twice the button to increase the pressure a little bit. Actually, you're increasing your flow rate, right? But the pressure is going to be increased also. So the pressure you can adjust to at a relatively constant 8 to 9 bars using this method. So if your shot at first it reaches a relatively high pressure, using the same logic, you can reduce it immediately. So if you're 0.4 at first and you have a 10 or 11 bars of pressure, you can reduce it immediately to 0.3 to get an ideal amount of pressure you want. So this is the second shot. I want to show you again using the largest pressure setting. You can see just now I have dialed in my the grinder to 1-step coarser because if you can remember from the last video, the same grind setting will if you use the same grind setting for different pressure settings, the larger pressure settings will give you a much larger pressure. So I know this because I've did it before, so I'm going to just use a 1-step coarser and to yield a similar pressure setting. Otherwise, it's gonna choke my shot. So now I'm using maximum pressure. So you can also count the shot time. The first shot, it was around 25 seconds. Now you can time this one also from the video. So you can see pressure rises. Now it's reaching at a relatively high pressure range in the red region, like into 11 bars, but it's still within the red region. But the flow rate, you can see it's much faster than before, even though at a higher pressure. So this shot, it was 20 seconds. So even though the brew time, it's around the same because obviously if you use a higher pressure setting, the flow rate is gonna be increased and the pre-infusion time is gonna be less, but the flow rate is still faster than before. So this shot, you can see it looks quite similar for both shots, but in taste wise, this is sour, much not very much sour, but it's obvious. You can taste the difference. Because the shot time, I think it's a little bit under extracted. 20 seconds, the flow is too fast. So in conclusion, I think the variable pressure setting it's still useful for this machine to get your shots dialed in. And generally, I always use the variable settings instead of the highest pressure setting. So that's the end. Thank you.